guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is Fadane TV, and if you would love to keep seeing beautiful faces like mine, please subscribe, please turn on your notifications. And for those of you that are returning subscribers, I want to say thank you for sticking with us through and through. I also want to apologize for the break in transmission. We're sorry that we were AWOL for a while and we were not so consistent here. It's for a reason, and we'll be sharing in our coming videos. Today's video, we're going to be talking about why your content is not getting the desired traction. Now, we're going to be starting a content series from today, and from time to time, all of our videos will be talking about content creation, content strategy, and the likes. So before we start today's video, I'd like to say something about creators that just sit down, copy people's posts, and then paste, forgetting that they have their own brand voice, forgetting that they have to come up with their own strategy that works for their brand. It's not okay. And don't continue to ask the question about how you draw the line between getting inspired and copying people's content. You know the line. You know what it means to copy people's content. Everybody that copies knows when they are copying. So I just want to say that it's not okay, and it's not something that you should do as a creator looking to grow in marketing. The first point I'm going to be talking about today is people that don't have a strategy should not expect to have traction, because your content needs to have a strategy before you go out there and you post. Now, I think this is something that affected me when I was starting up my brand, and just until last year we didn't have a content calendar that we were working with. My brand my brand team and myself had to come together. We had to come to an agreement. We had to think of what we could do better and how we could come up with strategies that could work for the brand, positioning us for people that we want as our clients. Now, we also had to outsource graphic designers and other people that would come on board that would help us keep to this calendar and this strategy, which is what I think most brands need to take out time to do before they even start, because it's important that when you're pushing out stuff out there, your content should meet the needs of people that you're pushing it out for, and you should have a strategy. There are 3 key things that your content strategy should have. Now, I call it CSR. For those of us that are familiar with the term, it means something else to you. But for me, content strategy should be 3 things: community-based, research-based, and solution-based. Okay, the first thing is that your content strategy should be community-based. What do I mean by community-based? Basically, you are dealing with a community, a group of people that you want to communicate with. Now, what are the things that you are doing that interest them? Are you looking at your content to see that it relates to them, their daily life, their work, their life, everything that has to do with them? Sometimes your community probably wants to have more conversations and interactions with you as a person. So are you sharing content that sort of like tells them a story? Are you trying to push your brand to them like a hard sell? That's not how it works, because you're dealing with people. You need to communicate to them personally. You need to connect with your audience. So your content strategy should be community based, and that's what the C stands for. And now the S stands for solution based. Now, if you look at the world of marketing, every brand is looking to solve a problem. Every brand is looking to get a solution to something that already exists. What is that thing that exists that your brand wants to answer to, that your brand wants to solve? What's that problem that you are there for? What is your unique selling proposition? What are you proposing to people? And what are the benefits that people tend to get from your products or your services? Now, that's where the solution mentality comes from. Are you relevant? Is what you're selling relevant? Is what you're selling trying to solve a problem? Is it answering to people's needs? Are people getting solutions from looking at your content? That's one thing you should consider. Now, don't make all your content about solutions, because that's another mistake that people make. If you're going to be posting content 3 times a week and every time you're talking about how to do this, how to do that, how to do this, there's nothing connecting with people. You are just saying how to, and you are making that an everyday content. It doesn't work that way. It's just one of the elements. So you need to balance this across all your content. You need to look at the community-based content. You need to look at the solution-based, and finally, the research-based. Now, as a content person, a content creator, a marketer, whoever you are, you must do some certain level of research before you start to do anything. Before you run a campaign on Black Friday, for an example, you want to make sure that people are online at this particular period and they are expecting discounts for the products you're going to be selling, because it's Black Friday, right? So you have to research, you have to find out information, you have to study your audience, understand what they want, understand their behavior, because you want to be connected to them. And Whether you like it or not, if you're not connecting to people, your content strategy is not going to work, because people own accounts on social media. These are the people that you want to talk to. You're talking to human beings. I'm not talking about the robot accounts now. I'm talking about the accounts where you have actual people. So is your content actually based on research? Are you asking questions? Do you go on Instagram poll, for example, and ask, oh, what kind of content do you want to see on my YouTube? What kind of content do you want to see on Telegram and other platforms? Or you're just coming up with the content yourself, sitting still, coming up with what you think that they want to see, without asking them questions, without getting to know them, without understanding their behavior. Now that is a mistake that you should not make. So in coming up with your content strategy, it's important that you bear in mind that CSR is what works for people: community-based, solution-based, and research-based. Now, the second reason why your content is not getting the traction that it deserves is because you're busy copying. A lot of brands out there have different voices and even have the same selling proposition. They are selling the same things, the brands are the same, the markets are the same. So what exactly is standing you out apart from your message? You need to understand that you have a brand voice. Every brand has the way they sound. Now, when you want to come out to the public, if you're going to do a storytelling post, if you're going to do a video, how do you want to appeal to people? What exactly do you want people to hear from you when they are speaking, or when you are writing to them? What kind of tone are they getting from your message? So that's your brand voice. Now, if you don't have a brand voice, it's easy for you to sit down, copy content, come up with something and just paste. Some of you don't even try to tweak it. Some of you don't even try to give another kind of feel to the content. It's okay for you to be looking up to people, model your brand after other brands, but you don't have to copy word for word. You don't have to copy content for content, video strategy for video strategy. The third and final reason why your content is not getting enough traction is because you're not modeling after anybody, or you're not modeling after the right person. So it's normal for you to see people doing stuff on social media. You meet a lot of creators, you meet a lot of video strategists, meet a lot of content creators online, and then you're wondering, who can I model my brand after? Who has a similar message to mine? Who exactly is in my niche or has an audience that also categorizes as my own niche? Now, you identify simply by doing this. The first thing you want to do is to check across your local audience. That's people that are in your country, in your state, people that are around you, people that have the same geographical location. So you get somebody that is in your local landscape, like one person locally and one person globally, that you can model your brand after. Now, it doesn't have to be an individual. It can be a corporate organization like a brand or an agency that you want to model yours after, depending on what you're starting as. If you're starting as a graphic designer, you can model after individuals, you can model after graphic designers. But if you're starting as an agency like ours, you have to look at agencies that are doing well, the kind of messages that they are pushing out every day, how often they post, and then what platforms that they are basically channeling their energy towards at the initial stage. Also, you need to look at what inspires that person behind the agency. So now, every agency has a lead, has a founder, has a CEO, and they have a story. Somehow they share this story using their content, they share this story on their social media platforms. Even some of them have their biographies reading out somewhere, and then you can get a hold of these materials. You can read up on them, find out the challenges they faced, how they were able to overcome these challenges, how exactly they watered the grounds for themselves, and how they started. Thank you guys for joining our session today. Thank you for always subscribing. Thank you for your likes. I trust that you guys learned something from today's video. Please, let's take this to the comments. If you have questions, if you have anything that you'd like to say to us, we'll be looking at the comments to respond to all your messages.